like, share, and subscribe. And ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And this is a video I've been wanting to get to for a few days. John Cleese, the great John Cleese, handed a progressive liberal reporter her arse recently, quite gloriously, and I'm quite glad they did. It's just the idiocy of these people, and it's so much fun to see them being shown up, which Cleese seemed like he did with absolute aplomb. So we're going to be looking at that, and we're going to be chortling a little bit. And I keep saying this over and over again. I feel the flavor of the year, the Jewish New Year, which goes from September to September, is narrative hitting reality. Narrative, and this is a great example of it. Fascinating story, really absolutely fascinating story. Before we get into it, like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think. Check the video notes. I have a new Substack account, which is basically it's an email list. It's a way to get off Twitter. So that's free. You're going to keep me updated with basically all the videos I do, any of my random thoughts. There's going to be free comic books on it. At least once a week, and also I'm launching a paid one which will have, I'm thinking about 50 or 60 pages of really great comic material a month. I think $2. I think $2 or $3 a month is the sweet spot for that. Amongst other stuff, right? Amongst other stuff, I gotta find out if you can embed videos into a Substack email. Who knows? Or destiny. Also, when I can finally get my ass together to go and find this SIM card or go to the cell phone place and get a new SIM card, I'm going to pop that in my old phone and I'm going to use that to set up a WhatsApp list. You know, it's what the kids like nowadays, a bit of WhatsApp list. There's also Telegram, but I've got to learn a new thing. Will you leave me alone? There's too much stuff to learn. So, hey, like, share, subscribe, comment, and let's take a delve into the awesomeness that is John Cleese. Oh, we love a bit of John Cleese. Monty Python star John Cleese to make formal complaint regarding the dishonesty, deception, and tone of recent interview with BBC World News. Listen, the first thing I want to say is that these liberal progressives that are really into cancel culture, right? That really absolutely adore cancel culture. Also like to keep saying they're on the right side of history, right? As a side, you know, the last people who said they were on the right side of history were those naughty National Socialists, right, from Germany in the 1930s. Perhaps not the best bedfellows to be with, but look, it's just saying, active. But why is it when you're on the right side of history, you have to lie your ass off all the time, right? To make any point, you just got to lie and lie and lie. It seems to me that you might be on the wrong side of history if you're lying a lot. I don't know. You the people decide. So fine. So he has this interview with BBC World News, Karishma Vaswani. Now, BBC is a terribly liberal progressive organization that have destroyed themselves, absolutely destroyed themselves, and a lot of British media, but by following this insane agenda. So the interesting thing about this is we're actually going to get inside the mind of these crazy people, right? These absolutely crazy people. Cleese is currently working on an upcoming documentary that's set to explore the effects of cancel culture on comedy. Destroy it. It absolutely destroys it. With this project in mind, the BBC World News reporter Karishma Vaswani asked the comedian what exactly is the interest in him about this particularly shameful practice. He says, well, it's a relatively new phenomenon. I mean, the Salem witch trials were a few hundred years ago, but it's a fun new iteration of this very old phenomenon. And it affects comedians because a lot of us do jokes that cancel culture people, woke people, don't think are right or don't even think are correct. So I've been asked to do this program and I've been exploring it. And I found, and I've been reading quite a lot of books and trying to understand what it's all about. I don't understand either. It's about control, I think. It's about bottom line, it's about people who feel powerless wanting to feel like they have power, right? It's quite a complex matter, and it seems to be boiling down to the fact that I think some people are rather overprotective. No, I think they're using that overprotectiveness as disingenuously to exert power and fear over people. That's what I think they're doing. I mean, we all want parents to be protective, but we don't want them to be overprotective because that raises children who are perhaps very well going to adapt. What is it? Because that raises children who are perhaps very well going to adapt to the real world. I think he's saying it makes for terrible adults. Who are the people who make cancel culture? Look at the picture of this of the interviewer. Doesn't look like she's liking any of it. Look at her, bloody harpy, unbelievable. The comedian further explained, I think it's very important that things should go wrong and that minor bad things should happen because that helps people learn how to become a little bit tougher and they go out into the world. It's the age of participation trophies has not worked out well, right? That's essentially what is destroying Western civilization, or destroyed. It depends how you want to look at it. That's why the people into it really like socialism, right? They just want to be looked after by a nanny state. Because it helps people learn to become a bit tougher, and they don't want to become a bit tougher. They really don't. When they go out in the world, which is not a terribly friendly place a lot of the time. And if we overprotect them, I think it doesn't work very well. I think the best example of that is the trans community, right? The trans community were fine, okay? It was fine being trans 5 years ago, 7 years ago, all right? And don't tell me they were a oppressed underclass. How many oppressed underclasses have beloved musicals made about them? At least two, right? You have Rocky Horror Show and La Cage aux Folles, right? Both of them very, very pro transgenderism. It's hardly like you were stuffed into the background. Yeah, listen, you didn't get again though as naughty national socialists in the 1930s. You didn't get many like Jew-friendly musicals, right? Yes, I think that's indicative. It was at this point that the BBC attempted to counter Cleese's clearly educated opinion on the phenomena. But John, some would say that what you're suggesting is that was it uttered only before Cleese interrupting, asking, why do you say but? Wouldn't you like to explore what I'm saying here? Then proceeded to lecture the comedian on his views that cancel culture are maybe old-fashioned, suggesting Cleese is not taking into consideration the feelings of people who have been hurt. What about the rest of the world, right? What about people who think that having a penis really, generally speaking, makes you male, right? And having a vagina, generally speaking, makes you female. And then if you say that on social media, you are banned, right? You are removed from the public square for hate speech. How do you think that makes people like that feel, right? No. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. I do not know what goes through these idiot people's minds. For instance, in Britain, where racist behavior was couched with a bit of banter. No! Excuse me, no. The racism of the 70s, 80s was more a vague discomfort with somebody being different. Right, but I don't think people hated black people or Asian people. I thought or Indian people, right? The Pakistani immigration to Britain happened in the 80s when I was a kid, and yeah, there was definite racism. The National Front were very much against it. They were a tiny minority. Most people. It was just your normal corner shop was now owned by a Pakistani bloke, right? And you got to know him, and you were fine with him, right? And sometimes you would have banter with each other, sometimes which is racially motivated, but between friends, it's all freaking okay, right? You're not if there's no hate motivating it, but love. I honestly, I friends who are. Big socialists, right? Big socialists, and oftentimes when it's have birthdays, I say, happy birthday, you socialist piece of scum. And they're like, happy birthday, you right-wing fascist. It's fine. It's good to laugh at ourselves and each other. It's healthy. Morons. Coach and banter. Is that acceptable? Is that acceptable in your view of a joke? Well, it takes you got to look at everyone in context. Is there hate behind it? Dave Chappelle, totally acceptable. So the reporter then asked the Footy Towel stars, and he replied, "I think it's a very poor question." Oh yes, go for it, John, mate. Further pressed by the reporter to answer the question, Cleese then asserted, "Well, it's hard because it's so scattered. You have so many different ideas in it. I don't know which place to start. With to answer. What I said, it's important that people are protected to a right degree, not overly protected and not underprotected," he declared. So the question becomes, what is the right degree? Now, practitioners of cognitive behavior therapy, which is very successful, which is used a lot to treat depression and anxiety in young people, say that the woke ideas are pretty much the opposite of what they use to make people less depressed. Oh dear, you're not going to follow the science. Really? You're not following the science. Reality hitting narrative, right? This is what we're going to keep seeing. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're old-fashioned or new-fashioned or you're from the 12th century added. It's a very interesting idea and needs to be explored without using these emotional terms like people being hurt and all kinds of things. And they use that language to shut you down because they have no answer to anything that you have to say. As the interview went on, Cleese went on the BBC World News reporter, returned to the topic of cancel culture once again. This time asking Cleese to give his thoughts on controversy surrounding fellow comedian Dave Chappelle. A line of question which did not sit well with the Monty Python star. Honestly, can you please specifically show me what is the hate speech you think is there? And then let's talk about this as if you might be wrong, right? Let's discuss this. Don't say, known bigot, James Chappelle. No, let's examine your premises, which is what you never, ever, ever want to do because your premises are bullshit. Really? That's exactly what it is. John, I want to ask you about another comedian. I don't know if you know about this American comedian, Dave Chappelle, who has faced a huge backlash. No, he hasn't. We're back on cancel culture here, the actor retorted. Like, okay, darling, try and understand. He's older than you and smarter than you. He's better than you in every way. I thought we were going to be talking about shows and comedy, but I'm not interested in doing this interview anymore. So I'll leave you now. Bye-bye. So then he went to social media to hand this woman her arsehole, I think. I just had an interview with BBC World Asia, and it was to talk about the shows I'm doing in Singapore and Bangkok. It said the interviewer, whose name I think was Krishna, started asking me questions about cancel culture, and I replied courteously and in full. I explained that if parents were overprotective, it didn't help children. It didn't help prepare children when they entered into the real and often not very nice world. Again, the mentality of participation trophies is not a good one. She then asked a disjointed question, clearly trying to portray me as an old-fashioned, uncaring, and basically harmful. I pointed out that the question was a poor one since it contained so many very different points. Yes. I answered one. Many cognitive behavioral therapists who are successful in helping young people with anxiety, vision, feel woke principles are almost the opposite of theirs. Yes, because it's not about helping people. It's about power. It's about having power over people. She totally ignored this and then went on to pointed out, and then at this point pointed out that I had been told that the interview was about my shows in Singapore and Bangkok. I asked if we can talk about that. And then she asked why I was doing shows in Asia when the pandemic was causing such problems, apparently blaming me for making the situation worse. Listen, they when they don't like you, they will fight. It's a scattergun hatred, right? That will goes on everything. Apparently, I explained that the Omicron variant has surfaced only 3 weeks ago, and the tours were arranged more than 3 weeks ahead. She then asked me about Dave Chappelle, so I removed my headphones, saying, "This is not the interview I had agreed to, so I am formally complaining to the BBC about the deception, dishonesty, and tone of interview." Again, if you're on the right side of history, why do you have to lie your ass off all the time? right? If you're on the right side of history, why are you always wrong? I mean, that seems to be a reasonable question to me, doesn't it? Krishna had no interest in discussing me. She only wanted the role of a prosecutor because she wanted power. The BBC needs to train her again. The media will no doubt spin this as I stormed out. I didn't, nor did I lose my temper. But I was depressed that this kind of presenter ego crap is so prevalent. I would have hoped that somebody on the BBC would understand that there are two ways of making fun of human behavior. One is to attack it directly. The other is to patently have somebody who's patently a figure of fun speak up on behalf of that behavior. Think of Alf Garnett. Exactly. And if you don't know who Alf Garnett is, the American version of that is Archie Bunker. Was it All in the Family on Sickness? So, but yeah, it was a right-wing cipher to say right-wing racist stuff, right? There's a great clip. Oh my God, there's a great, go and find it on YouTube, where it's in black and white, where Alf Garnett is going to give blood, and there's a black guy there, and he's like, well, they can't get blood from black people. It'll turn you. And he uses a racial slur to describe the guy, which was used in a hateful way, but it made fun of it. For God's sake, you freaking morons! Will you stop destroying the world with your absolute stupidity? That really, okay, that's my little Christmas wish. Will you please stop destroying the world with your absolute relentless stupidity? On that note, may I say, my name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Caesar's greetings, one and all. Sign up to my Substack, Rumble on Rumble, whatever that may be. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And have yourself a fantastic day, week, and festive season.